All right, good evening and welcome to the Connecticut Rivers Council Summer Camp Kickoff. We're excited to have everybody with us. My name is Pat Boyd and I am the director of Jan Webster. I want to take a minute and introduce my colleague, Jeremy Nelson, who is the director of Camp Mattituck. Jeremy, you want to say hello?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
So our goal tonight is to unveil some of the exciting programs that we have going on in the Connecticut Rivers Council at our camps and get some feedback. And even though it's going to be 0 degrees tomorrow and a nor'easter is coming to New England, we are ready for summer camp. So it's an exciting piece. So continuing on. Play with technology for a sec. So continuing on tonight, just some housekeeping items that this is in webinar mode. It's not Zoom, so we don't have the tile that you're normally used to seeing, and you are all muted. But we do have a couple of things. There is the Q&A box on the bottom that if you have a question that you want to put in the box, we can answer it live as we go along. We are also Facebook Live. So if anybody has questions on the Facebook side, put it in the chat. And we will get to it. And if we don't answer your questions now, we'll get it out later and follow up as well. So we look forward to some interaction. At the very end, we'll do some open Q&A. This is primarily aimed at Scouts, BSA, venturing and older Scout programs. On February 24th, we're going to have our Cub Scout Summer Camp Kickoff, which is some of the great Cub Scout day camp programs, resident camp, and day camp programs across the council. So if you're a Cub Scouter, tonight we're really going to focus on the Scouts BSA venturing exploring programs, but come back on February 24th and we'll have some great Cub programs. So tonight we're going to meet your camp leadership. We're going to talk about the great programs at Camp Mattituck in Plymouth, Jan Webster and Ashford, and our NYLT program, National Youth Leadership Program, which is the premier training program to teach junior leaders leadership skills and make stronger units as they come back and take key leadership positions in your troop. We're going to unveil the camp fee for 2022. We're going to look at some key dates in our campership programs and be able to answer your questions at the end. You know, in addition to Jeremy and myself, Dan Carr is the council's NYLT training coordinator and the course director for the NYLT program. He's going to join us. Alex Cantor is a member of our professional staff as the council program director, but also the camp director at Camp Orcomen, as well as a couple other special guests with some announcements. If you're not keeping track, which I know many of you are, there are exactly 149 days until summer camp starts in 2022. So now that summer camp is almost here, it's really time for us to get our focus going forward. And I think the founder of Scouting, Baden Powell, said it best when he said a week of camp life is worth 6 months of theoretical training in the meeting room. And summer camp is that place where Scouting comes to life, and we do things that you really can't do over Zoom or in a church basement in January. So we're really looking forward to following the principles of Baden Powell and getting out into the outdoors. But first, I want to take a minute and introduce our council commissioner, a former camp staff member, past Scoutmaster, Mr. David Lee. Dave, floor is yours.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks, Jeremy, for having me. Camp. Many of us have fond memories of our time at camp, whether that we were there as a youth or as an adult leader. And for some of us, it's a new and daunting experience, though. So this evening's presentation will be familiar to many and provide valuable information to those of you that have questions about camp. I just wanted to talk about our camps in Connecticut Rivers Council. I've had the luxury or pleasure of visiting several camps over the last few years as part of the National Camp Accreditation process. And I have to say, our camps are really pretty top notch. We have some really nice properties, really great properties that have great programs out there. And we should take pride in the fact that our camps are out there and they support our units in continuing to provide the scouting program. With the great programs we have at Mattituck, with the new leadership program they're developing, the ATVs at Jan Webster are awesome. And so our camps continue to provide an outstanding program. And one thing that is critical to that process is our camp staff. and they are outstanding, led by Jeremy and Pat, and they've really created a safe, fun environment for both Scouts and Scouters alike. While our target audience is usually adult leaders at these meetings, I just wanted to address one other important audience that kind of gets left out sometimes. I recall when I was a youth, I had a tough time as a senior patrol leader when I was summer camp SPL, and I remember having a conversation with an old curmudgeonly, that's a nice word, World War II veteran submariner by the name of John Cody. We used to call him the Old Bear. And he took me aside after having a troublesome week and explained that, it is tough being a leader at camp. And it is a challenge, and you just keep doing the right things, and they will follow, and your troop will follow you. Fast forward to when I was a Scoutmaster, I had a new senior patrol leader for camp who said, "Oh, I got this." And I tried to explain to him that it's going to be a tough week. He says, "I got it figured out. It's no biggie." So about come Thursday, he says to me, "Mr. Lee, can we have a conversation?" I said, "Sure." So we went and talked with him. He had a buddy with him. We talked, and first thing out of his mouth was, "This is tough." He used a few other choice words, but the point of this story is that what better program do we have out there than camp scouting to teach kids, youth of our country, how to be leaders, how to be resilient. So we need to take advantage of those programs. Camp is an excellent opportunity to provide a safe environment for Scouts to learn. And Lord Baden-Powell's statement about camp is spot on, and it applies to both youth and adults. And I look forward to a successful camp season coming up with the programs that both Pat and Jeremy have put together. And thank you. Adventure on.
All right. Thank you, Dave. We look forward to seeing you out there. Next, we want to welcome the Scout Executive for the Connecticut Rivers Council, Mr. Stephen Smith. Stephen, welcome to the Camp Kickoff.
Thanks, Pat, for having me on tonight. Really appreciate having the opportunity to visit with everyone. Yeah, I guess I am on. I got some really good news to give everyone that hopefully you will remember that, as I also get to give you some bad news at the end. But the good news is camp fees for 2022 will be exactly the same as they were in 2021. We know that a lot of people have had difficult times with the pandemic and missing jobs and things like that, and we'll be keeping the camp fee exactly the same for 2022. Now, I've got to tell you that it was not going to happen that way. When we went through the budgeting process this year, it became very clear very early that camp fees were going to have to go up significantly. And it looked like the overall camp fee was going to be going up $50 per scout. And we formed a partnership with one of our really great foundations, the Peter and Carmen Lucia Buck Foundation. And they were concerned about how kids were going to camp and the availabilities and how the pandemic had helped or hurt councils and scouts. And they came forward and said, we will subsidize every kid going to camp this summer $50. So the camp fees will stay the same thanks to the Buck Foundation. So that's really the good news. The part that you really need to remember is in the future, if that's not available, that increase may have to be out there. And as you all know, and we all know running our homes, everything's going up. The price of food is going up. The price of electricity is going up. Insurance and labor costs are all going up. And that is going to have to be reflected at some point. But the good news is it's not going to be reflected in our camp budget for 2022. So come on out, bring all your kids out. All the camp staff is coming. They're going to have a lot of smiles on. We've got some great directors that are putting together some great program. So really look forward to seeing you in camp this summer and scout on.
Thank you, Stephen. That is exciting news that we're able to hold the camp fees to the same as 2021. So that's a big deal. So thank you for sharing that news tonight. Next, I'd like to welcome Alex Cantor, who's the Council Program Director, to talk about our Campership Program. So welcome to the Kickoff, Alex.
All right, good evening. Thank you very much. I have the pleasure of talking about Campership Program, which I know many of you are interested in. So that program is going to be a little bit different this year. Generally the same, but the way we're going to start the process is going to be slightly different. If any of you have participated in our Scouting for Food program, it's going to mimic that capture survey program that we use. So starting tomorrow, we'll have the survey ready and built. It'll be linked to all the camp reservation systems, and you'll be able to go ahead and apply for camperships. Now, the deadline for that is April 15th, and it's very important that you get the campership application in prior to that April 15th deadline. Anything after that, and we do often get forms after that date, we cannot guarantee assistance. And we really like to be able to give out as much as we possibly are able to. We don't want any scouts to be able to, to miss camp because of financial reasons. So if you have additional questions about the campership program, feel free to send me an email, alex.cantor, C-A-N-T-O-R, @scouting.org, and I will route that in the proper direction. Thanks, Pat.
All right, thank you. We want to see every scout in camp this summer, so please take advantage of our campership program if you have scouts in need and you don't have other resources as well. So next, we're going to hand it over to Jeremy Nelson, and I'm excited to learn about all of the outstanding programs this summer at Camp Matatuck. So Jeremy, floor is yours.
Thanks, Pat. We're just going to share my screen here for a second. So talking about Camp Matatuck, Pat, can you give me a nod? You seeing that? Thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit about Camp Matatuck. There's a QR code there that'll lead you to the camp website. And we're going to also, as I go through this, there's a lot of information in the slide deck. So I'm going to put it also on our camp website, and it'll be posted up there so that everyone can see it. And we'll get it also posted to the council website, along with the main one that Pat has been showing, and the, of course, the one that we go through for the other camps and programs. So first and foremost, we want to talk about some of the departments we have at camp and the programs that those departments offer. So of course, we have our nature programs, our nature department, Scoutcraft department, our wheels department, which is pretty much anything with wheels, which ranges from our RC cars to our mountain bikes to BMX bikes. Scoutcraft, traditional scout skills, fire building, axe bow saw, tote and chip, all that kind of stuff. And nature is providing nature hikes. Beyond the Wheel and Flota and Fauna are really popular programs that they partner with some of the other departments. So like Flota and Fauna, they partner with our waterfront department to go kayaking and fun yaking around the lake and get a nature hike in that way. And then the similar thing is Beyond the Wheel, where they to go mountain biking or BMX biking with that department and are able to then also go on a nature walk and hike during that time, or a ride, I guess, during that time. At our waterfront, we have instructional boating and swimming. We take a lot of pride in the fact that we not only allow kids to have fun and play in the water as much as possible, but we also give those kids that maybe have a little bit less experience in the water the opportunity to learn. So we have a lot of instructional swimming courses that take place, and we get a lot of kids to advance their swimming throughout the course of the year and move on to that, or of course of their week at camp, and move on to that swimming achievement, I guess, and mile swims and that kind of thing as they go through the week. Shooting sports, very popular place at camp. So archery orientations, rifle orientations, we offer shotgun, trap shooting, black powder, as well as a host of things at the archery range that are great fun for people to go down to. Our STEM program, which is relatively new, and we've been developing that and have given it a new home this year, really centralized the program last year, but that's got very popular blacksmithing and welding programs. Improv games is housed out of there, which has become a really popular program with a lot of patrols and some team building aspects of those patrols. Chess, branding, and then we offered our new drone program last year, and we're going to continue that. We built a drone obstacle course in one of our fields, and you can go up and try to do that. It takes a little bit of finesse when you first start out, but it's able to go through and do it pretty well. And then All Adventure is our new department that formed this year, which was formerly our Cope and Climbing department. However, some of the new things they're taking on, we branded it a little differently. So they do troop boulderings, troop and patrol team building, and they also house our Leadership Plus program. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we go on. So new for 2022, we're continuing with some of the rolling meal options that we started last year. Those were pushed on us a little bit because of COVID, but then we absolutely decided that that was the way to go for at least, oops, sorry about that. Now I can't get back. Hold on one second. Well, we'll just talk about it. That was our, that was, it was for our COVID, but basically we're going to keep that through the lunch wave. It added a lot of different activities and timing for kids to be able to use. And it also allowed us to be able to have those troop programs in the middle of the day, which was really, really helpful for everyone and was able to definitely move us in the right direction for adding more program and not stopping everything for meal times. Parents' nights are a little different. Traditionally, we had always done them on a Wednesday. We're now keeping those on Friday, which is what we did last year. And that worked out really well. We're going to go through some of the new merit badges, which you see up on your screen now, but we'll go through those again in a little bit. And when I swip to that slide, Sunday check-in procedures was on the other slide. So we're going to keep that the way we did it last year, which is that it was at a rolling time. So traditionally, everyone would show up at the same exact time. It worked great for us last year to have those at a rolling time. So during our Tuesday meetings with adult leaders, we'll be setting those up. And then our Leadership Plus programs, of course, which we'll go through because that's a little bit different than what we've had in the past. Some of our new merit badges. Camp is debuting this year. Veterinary medicine merit badge for the first time at camp. Theater merit badge for the first time at camp that I'm aware of. Music merit badge, which is actually coming back to camp for, it's had a hiatus, I guess, for a couple of years. We'll also be running composite materials and radio merit badge. We actually have a broadcaster that's coming to work with us on staff this year that'll broadcast from camp. So that'll be an interesting merit badge for people to take a look at and get to learn from someone that's actually in that field. Camp Matatuck, as you see there, offers over 80 merit badges for you to participate in. So please do take a look at our merit badge schedule, which is on the website following the QR code. So this is just a conversation about the rolling meals. So from 11:30 to 1, scouts can go in and have lunch whenever they choose to have that. So when that's happening, they're then able to also sign up for troop programs, different merit badges, and it did really open up the scheduling times for all of us. As I talked about Sunday check-ins already and parents' nights, and more information for that can be found in the program guide, which again is at the QR code on the bottom. Our Leadership Plus program is something completely new and dynamic that we're offering for this year. It's designed for scouts who are either beginning a leadership or already in a leadership role and are able then to hopefully expand on that, learn some team building skills, do puzzles, solve different activities, and work together in groups to build that leadership potential that they have inside them. The Leadership Plus program is similar to COPE programs that we've run in the past. However, what we're really emphasizing within this program is that there's a network of people at camp that we want to get to know each other. We create a great network of scouters through our roundtables, and we want to be able to provide that network for youth leaders that attend our camps together, where they can work with each other and be able to come up with programs and work with what they want to put forward to their units. So our Leadership Plus program is going to focus on that. It will also include the use of our COPE course. It's going to run in the evenings from 6:30 to 8 p.m. That allows the scouts to maximize their time during the day. It doesn't take away from any of their morning troop activities, and it then allows them to still have their merit badges and then also participate in this program. So we're hoping that this will get some kids really involved in what was our COPE program, and with some of these changes towards Leadership Plus to be able to develop some really strong leaders in the units that come to camp. So we're really excited to offer that this year, and I know that our all adventure staff is putting together a spectacular program. So we're hoping some scouts take advantage of that going forward. A little bit about the campsites. We have 11 summer campsites with facility access in each site. So there's a latrine in each site. 7 of these sites also have their own showers located in them. So we do have a centralized shower house, but 7 of the sites also have their own shower house available within it. The farthest site from the dining hall is about 3/4 of a mile. So it's not a huge walk from anywhere at camp. There's 2-person and 4-person campus tents in each of our campsites, flagpoles, flags, bulletin boards, and different patrol meeting areas in those sites. And then I also wanted to mention our Scouts BSA day camp program, because I think this is something that scouts could really take advantage of. I think there was a fair number of scouts that tried it out. Both Pat and I offered it last year, And what this program is that the kids come in from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. They can participate in merit badges, they can swim, they can do lunches. They build a little unit among themselves, all the Scouts, BSA Scouts. But it was a really great opportunity. And what I noticed is it wasn't just what we thought was going to happen. Originally, we thought younger Scouts may come do this for a week and then come stay with their troop to get acclimated to camp. But it ended up being, at least from our perspective at Mattosac, that we had a lot of older Scouts taking advantage of this program because they could go to work in the evening and didn't have to like give up their summer jobs to come to camp, and were still able to earn merit badges and enjoy the experience. So we had a great time with that program this past year. So I'm hoping that some more Scouts take advantage of that going forward. And if you're looking for any information, you can go to ConnecticutScouting.org, campmattock.org, and my email address is jeremy.nelson@scouting.org. So thank you very much, Pat. We'll turn it back over to you.
All right, outstanding. Thank you, sir. All right, so next we're going to talk about what's going on at Jan Webster. So we are really excited for 2022. We are hoping that the rain that we experienced last summer was a unique feature of 2021 and will not be repeated this year, as we're always looking to change our theme, and Noah's Ark was last year and not this year as well. So when we asked for anybody had any questions ahead of time they wanted to address, more than one people were asking about if it's going to rain this summer or not. So we hope that not to be the case. So if you're new to Jan Webster, we are a 1,200 acre scout reservation in Ashford, Connecticut, in the northeast corner, about an hour from Boston, right next to the University of Connecticut campus. We house in our base camp our Scouts BSA resident and Scouts BSA day program, as Jeremy talked about, which actually was a big success last year. In our Cub country, we offer Cub Scout day camp and family camping, as well as we will as resident camp, which we'll talk more about on the 24th of February. And we are the host site for NYLT, which Dan's going to talk about what his team has going on down a little bit later on tonight. Last year we had a chance to get featured in Scout Life magazine, which was kind of cool to look at all the different things going on there. And this is a copy of that article from camp. And our basic philosophy at Webster is that we provide a program that tries to do our best to support the good work that a troop does year round, and to make opportunities that fit the troop, knowing that everybody doesn't come into camp and has a cookie cutter and say, we only want this. So we try to offer programs that supports troops that are in all different positions. Some are very active, some are doing their best and are looking for different experiences. So our basic philosophy is to meet you where you need to be and build the program around it. And this mythical figure there is Cattywampus, who is a camp folklore about conservation as well. So if Cattywampus is very present in camp. We are prepared this summer, as we had been in the past, to support both boy troops and girls troops. I'm really pleased to see the number of girls troops that are coming to camp this summer to be up as well. And we try to have programs that fit Scouts in general, but also are able to support the young ladies and young men where they are as well. So one of the new things that we're putting into place this year, particularly for our link troops, our girls troops that are coming to camp, is having early in the week fellowship with our young ladies that work on camp staff, as well as our campers, and kind of begin the networking piece there as well. And we've had some great units in the past, but we're looking forward to again host Scouts BSA boys and girls troop, as well as boys and girls in our provisional program, the Thunderbirds as well. Our team has been really hard at work, both on building the program and facilities. There's a lot of things, and we'll talk more as the spring goes on, but just some basic things about working in some campsites. We've put a lot of time and effort, and we will continue to in site 7A and B, site 10B, and across our campsites to just do little improvements. And you can see some pictures from site 7 where stumps and rocks were taken out and fill was brought in. You see our Ranger Austin is working on some of the camp signs, and we're doing a project where we're replacing all the bulletin boards in all of the campsites to a design that's a lot more sleek and modern, is the term that we'd like to use with that are magnetic not just corkboard as well. So again, the Friends of Webster maintenance initiatives by the council and just a team effort has continued to make facilities improvements, and we'll have more to share with you as the spring goes on. Program wise, we are an open program camp, which means that there are scheduled merit badge sessions. But outside of that, units have the opportunity to do things as a troop, do things as a patrol, or a scout and their buddy can choose an itinerary that they want to do as well. So there is very much a menu that units can look at before they come to camp and decide. And most troops will do a mixture. They'll schedule some troop activities, some patrol activities, and then they'll have open time because our ranges are open all day long for a scout and their buddy to come down the waterfront and other different places that really surround the open program. We've taken a lot of feedback from last year. COVID, as Jeremy mentioned, made us pivot things in directions that we hadn't been accustomed to. And some of the feedback has been, you'd like to see some of that. So we are looking forward to getting back into the dining hall and having an active dining hall. But we're also looking at some of the other meals. We've had the long-standing open lunch period, and we're looking at breakfast, how we can best do that to meet your needs and get your feedback as well. So we'll talk more specifics. We don't quite know yet what COVID restrictions may or may not be in place with the summer, but we feel like we had a very successful last summer. And we feel like we're heading in the right direction and talking to our regulators that we're going to be in a pretty good position this summer, but we're going to be prepared to pivot as needed. So our program is based off 3 tiers. So basically the first tier of program is your classic scout camp, and that includes 10 different program areas. That includes the first class path, which is our first year camper program for scouts that are brand new to the scouting program. The other areas are aquatics, biking and athletics, ecology conservation, handicraft, industrial arts, which is our welding, blacksmithing, and trades area, outdoor adventure, which is your classic scoutcraft area, but also houses our unique J&W Paul Bunyan Woodsman program, which has gotten really popular the last couple of years, cope and climbing, shooting sports, and Apex, which is our technology center on top of it. We are going to be unveiling the merit badge offerings very soon, and we're looking for robust offerings as we have in the past, with having the ability for some scouts with their leader's approval to do some independent study by appointment stuff in addition to our regular menu. So that's our basic tier 1. Our tier 2 programming really looks at the older scouts. And this is the ATV Power Sports program. And we're delighted to announce that this year we've joined the Polaris program through the National Boy Scouts of America. We were one of the first councils to do ATV. I think it was almost 10 years ago now. And we were partnered with Honda for that time. And now we've joined the Polaris program as well. So we're going to have brand new Polaris units in camp this spring, which is really exciting. For scouts that are 14 and older to work with the ASI and take the course, which is basically a skills course in our controlled track in camp under the guide of 2 instructors. And after the ASI basic rider course is complete and safety checks are done and licenses are issued, then the second part of the week, we explore as a group our 1,200 acres and some of our ATV trails that we have and different programs throughout that. So that we're excited to have the ATV program come back. We're continuing our Area 51 program, which has gotten very popular, mixing scout skills, navigation skills, first aid, and it ends on a controlled paintball course as well. So we're excited to have that. We're going to continue some of the other popular programs, such as the cowboy action shooting down at the Western Range and some of that work. And if you've never had a chance to participate in that, it's one of the coolest things that we do. And our staff are not only just, letting people participate in a safe environment, they're talking about the Old West, and you can see one of our instructors, Jim Gauthier, in proper attire there as well. So we're looking forward to that and continuing to grow our older scout offerings for those that are predominantly 15, 16, and 17-year-olds in camp. We are a camp that does a lot of different things, and often people say, well, I can't do it. And we kind of follow the philosophy of the Jamboree, where you have to make choices, right? You come into camp, you take some merit badges early on, you do your first year camper program, and then you expand into some older things as well. So, this is kind of by design, that there's so much to do that you can't pick and you can't do it all in 1 week. And so we encourage you that if you're not familiar with Jay and Webster, or it's been a while since you've been familiar with us, to take a look, because this isn't your father's scout camp anymore. There's so many different offerings that even 10 years ago, we never thought we'd be able to have in camp. And, we view ourselves as a traditional scout camp, thus the cover of the probably Stevens Scout Handbook, as when he was a scout. But times changed and we evolve, and we're a modern scout camp that keeps traditional values going forward. If it's not ATVing, rock climbing on camp or off campus, or some of the other high adventure things, scouting, as Baden-Powell envisioned it, continues to evolve, and those principles don't die. But yet we have really an adventure that lasts a lifetime, and there's memories that are created. So our kind of unofficial theme this summer is adventure awaits. Our website is chock full of all kind of items. So if we haven't updated it yet for 2022, the 2021 stuff is there. So if you're looking to get a sense of schedules and that type of thing, if you go to our website, which is go2webster.org, and also in the spirit of QR codes, we are very active on our social media channels. We often update our stuff on Facebook or Instagram, and you too could follow the Jay and Webster TikTok channel. So tonight is just designed to give you a snapshot of some of the stuff that's happening in camp this summer. We're going to have more camp-specific webinars with unit leaders and SPLs to continue to build the program. But we're really looking forward to this summer getting everybody in camp. And if you don't attend Jay and Webster, I'd ask you to give Mattatuck a look. And otherwise, take your scouts somewhere this summer, because I guarantee that scouts who go to summer camp will stay active in the troop after camp is over as well. So next, I want to hand it over to a good friend and course director for NYLT, Mr. Dan Carr. Floor is yours, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Pat. Hey, we are super excited about NYLT this summer. Many of you, I expect, are familiar with the program. And so if you are, as every year we try to do, we want to make the program better. And we got some changes coming up this year, partly from a national level, partly from just a great collaboration so far with folks in the council office, Alex and Pat and Jeremy, that we're really excited about. So with that, I think you can see my screen now. Let me know if you can't. NYLT 2022, August 7th through 13th at J&W as usual. This will be pretty quick tonight, so I'm going to run through this pretty quickly, just in a few minutes. Wanted to start out talking about what is NYLT. And before I start talking about it, I'm going to show you some pictures. It's fun, it's learning, it's leadership, it's wood badge style, corporate style learning at a level that's tailored for teenagers, for the leaders in your troop, the leaders with experience, the leaders who want to get another perspective on it, the leaders who want to build their toolkit. Like Pat said at the beginning, it's BSA's premier leadership development program at the council level. So it is a month in the life of a troop, down to compressed into a week. It's a week-long leadership skills course with youth leaders from troops, crews, Sea Scout ships, from Connecticut, from outside of Connecticut, who come to J&W for a week of NYLT. It's hands-on. It's a mix of classroom learning, small team learning, putting those skills into practice over the course of the week. You will find your scouts strengthen and reinforce the skills that they're starting to learn in their troop and bring back new perspectives from the other scouts that they come into contact with. It is not a typical week of summer camp. It is not about building scout skills. It is about leadership, learning, and sharing and collaborating. We've got some new stuff coming up this year. NYLT is always a week-long program. The way we've run it, we can also run it as 2 weekend programs, and we're doing sort of a combination of both this summer. So we'll run 3 days of NYLT. It'll be the official syllabus that we need, that we're supposed to run. But in the middle of the week, we're planning a patrol adventure day, working with camp staff. So it'll be 3 days of learning, a day of the patrols operating together in a camp environment, a day of summer camp in the middle, give the youth, the participants, a chance to re-energize and practice the team and leadership skills they've been working on the first part of the week before coming back for the second part of the week. We're going to start on Sunday in order to do that instead of Monday, which should make drop off a little bit easier. The one course, boy and girl troops and patrols, we have always, as long as girls, females have been on the NYLT course, it has always made the course better. Doing the same thing this year, still one course, but just like the linked troop model we have in Scouts BSA troops, we'll do the same thing for NYLT. I think that'll make the program really good. And some changes to the syllabus, the same core content if you're used to it before, the same core skills, but just as much learning spread out, reinforced over the course of the week, more patrol challenges, which means more fun, more opportunity to practice the skills that they're learning, and more focus on communicating effectively. So all those things should make the course better, and we're excited about that. Who is NYLT for? Scouts BSA, it's Venturers, it's Sea Scouts. Teenagers, ages 13 to 17, first class or higher rank. Venturers and Sea Scouts, 14 to 20, or 13 and older and finished 8th grade. Scout attendees need to have done Intro to Leadership Skills for troops, crews, or ships. They need to have, it's not a camping program, it's not a skill building program, but you need to have core camping skills. We'll be camping out over the course of the week. And you need a recommendation from your leader. It's for strong and emerging leaders, mature enough to spend a week independent of their troop and of their family, and motivated to apply what they learn to make themselves better, to make their units better. So some details, you don't have to memorize everything here. You don't have to capture the screen. This will all be up February 1st or sooner on the council website. $350, that includes all discounts. So it's a flat rate for everybody attending NYLT. Sign up starting February 1st. You can find it really easily off the council webpage. Like we said at the beginning, August 7th through 13th at J&W. Scout leaders should know 2 scouts per unit as usual. More if there's space. We'll have a maximum course size of 56 scouts. And you can contact either me, Dan Carr, or Alex Cantor. Pat or Alex, anything you would add to that?
No, we're just looking forward to the awesome program, and NYLT is a great way to get your youth leaders energized for your troop.
Yeah, great. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you, Dan. As Dan drops his screen, we will move on to our next exciting piece for the day. I want to welcome back Alex Cantor to the stage, if you will. So in addition to his role as the council program director, he also is the camp director at Camp Warcomen, heading into the 2nd year of the awesome Warcomen adventures. So Mr. Cantor, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, if you haven't heard, last summer, Camp Warcomen transitioned into a short-term camp, a year-round short-term camp, I should say. That started in the summer, but it's continued all year round with monthly programs in a short-term environment, right? So less than 72 hours. So if you have some scouts that are enjoying their summer at either Webster or Mattituck and they're looking for a little bit more, Camp Warcomen can help meet those needs. So if you haven't heard about our program, it's really pretty cool and we're really excited about it. It's a series of 1 or 2 day merit badge programs. It's very advancement based. It runs Monday to Friday, but each session is its own day. So you might come for just a Monday, or just a Monday and a Tuesday, or maybe Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Again, that's totally up to you. And that's the beauty of the Camper Coleman short-term summer camp. We have a couple of themed weeks. So there's going to be a waterfront week and an outdoor skills week, and then a couple of Cub Scout day camp weeks in there as well. The program runs 8:30 to 4:30. It's about $45 a day. There's a couple of extra fees in there for some of the programs, and lunch is included in that as well. So you don't have to worry about packing a lunch, which is really great. So that's the general core summer program. The campsites are also available for rent for a family or a patrol, or if your whole troop wants to come and spend a couple of days, that's available as well. And Camper Coleman is really committed to finding a way to say yes. So if there's something that's not in our official program that you'd like to try to do either during the summer or year round, just let us know, and we'll try to find a way to say yes to that as best we can. There'll be an official Camper Coleman kickoff in mid-February, February 16th, and again, shortly thereafter. So if you want to hear more about Camper Coleman and the short-term camp opportunities, stay tuned for information on how to sign up for that. That's it. Thanks, Pat.
All right. And I believe, Alex, that Camper Coleman is the only place in the Connecticut Rivers Council that you can do scuba diving in one of the cleanest lakes and largest lakes in Connecticut. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, I should have mentioned that earlier. Scuba diving is one of the things Camper Coleman does best. We're able to offer not just the merit badge, but also the official scuba certification class. I know there's some people on this webinar that took advantage of that last summer, and they had a great time and actually came back for a second opportunity to do that. So stay tuned for scuba. There's a lot of great opportunities to do that. And if you're going down to Seabase, we can help get you certified to get there.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, sir. So next, we're just going to look at some of the key dates, the camp fees, and what some of the registration stuff looks like as well. So first, Jeremy's going to talk about the merit badge program and registering on Black Pug. So Jeremy.
You got it. Thanks, Pat. So registering on Black Pug is actually how we're going to run through this. So for the remainder of our summer camps and what we're doing for any of our registrations. So first off, we're excited to announce that immediately following this webinar on our websites and on Black Pug, our registrations will go live for summer camp this year. So we were able to get those done, and we're able to have those available for all of you following this webinar. So you should see those update on the websites, and you can check those out and be able to start your registration process.
So Jeremy, are you telling me that if I want to sign up for camp right now, I can go to ctscouting.org and sign up for summer camp? Is that what you're telling me?
That is absolutely correct, Pat. You'll be able to go to ctscouting.org, probably campmatatuck.org, and I would guess go to webster.org and off of Camper Coleman's site as well, and you'll be able to register for summer camp starting after this webinar. Now, the other thing that you want to take note of is that our merit badge registration is going to open in March. So you could register your scouts right now to go to summer camp, and then in March through our Black Pug program, that is where you're going to register those scouts for their merit badges. So you'll be able to go into the Black Pug program and pick the merit badges based off the schedules that each of the camps have created, get your kids signed up. It's a really great program to use for that. You're able to print then individual reports for each kid as to their schedule for the summer. And then you as a scout leader can have a full report as to what's going on. It will allow you during the week of camp to then be able to monitor kids on attendance and merit badges and really get involved into what's going on and be able to be as organized as possible coming into the summer. So we're excited to offer that to all of you as well. So just as Pat reminded us, starting right now, as soon as this webinar ends, you'll be able to go and register. I know Alex just threw it in the chat for everyone. So you'll be able to register to attend any one of our Connecticut Rivers Council summer camps. So we're really excited to offer that to you. So
yeah, and Black Pug, it's important for the Jay and Webster units who had different methods of registering for merit badges in the past. This summer, we are going paperless at Webster, which is a big shift. So the merit badge blue cards are going to be through the Black Pug system. They can be printed out for nostalgia's sake, but they also can be emailed and different things like that. So it's important that scouts do register their merit badges in Black Pug. It's a very easy system to do so. But Webster is going paperless, joining our environmentally conscious cousins at Matatuck who have been paperless for a year or so this summer without blue cards. So.
That is correct, Pat. Just I'll reiterate that the scout leaders, as well as whoever registered the unit at the end of the week, will then get a report that says what merit badges were completed and what's our partials. And from that, they'll be able to then print the blue cards out directly. So it's not, you're not going to get handed a stack of blue cards. All that's going to come electronically.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you, sir. So just to reiterate the good news that Stephen shared in the beginning, that the regular camp fee, so the fees are the same as 2021. So the regular camp fee is $475. Now, the key to this is that's the camp fee after May 6th or May 5th, when the early bird period ends. So for the lowest camp rate, in order to come to camp for the cheapest amount, which is $450, you have to have the scout paid by May 5th, which happens to be Cinco de Mayo. It's easy to remember in your head. Cinco de Mayo, camp fees are due for the early bird rate. And that locks in the low rate for that. After that, it's $475. It's important to note that there's a lot of scout camps and there's a lot of private camps all over New England. In my quick look around, we are running one of the lowest camp rates, most economical camp rates in the region this summer at camp. So $450, if you look in the private sector at some private camps or other nonprofit camps, it's much, much larger than that. And take a look around at scout camps. There's a lot of scout camps that are unable to offer this, and it's through the generosity of the Buck Foundation that we can do that this year. But please, take advantage of that lowest camp rate for your families. We are continuing the sibling discount of $25. So that's there's going to be a discount code, and Michelle, who does the awesome work in our office of coordinating camp registrations and working with you and working with us to do that, can assist with that process, and we'll put out some paperwork afterwards. But we're also continuing the second week discount as well. So if you attend scout camp once with your troop, if you attend a scout camp anywhere in the United States, if you attend NOAC this summer, National High Adventure Base, Philmont, you can get $100 off a second week of camp at Camp Matatuck or J.N. Webster. Doesn't matter where you went, as long as it was a formal scout camp program, which is a great deal on top of it. So, and as Alex talked about before, camperships are available, and we'll put some specific stuff out there. So the key dates to remember is that the early bird initiative ends on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and the sibling discount is $25 for a sibling. We need some of the best people to help staff us. So Jeremy's going to talk a little bit about the counselor and training programs, as well as camp staff recruitment.
Thank you, Pat. So looking at what Pat was talking about and our camp staff programs and counselor and training programs, what it really comes down to is the council needs you guys to help us with this. You know which ones of your scouts are going to be the best to come out to our camp staffs. You know which of your scouts is going to be the best to be able to come and help us all to put on great programs. So in order for scouts to be counselors and trainings, there's a little things that are involved in it. I know Pat's program and mine have some slight differences, so you might want to reach out to the individual camps to talk about what some of those differences might be. But the counselor and training programs, the scouts do need to be 14 years of age or older, and they have to, we last that they be first class, but there are some exceptions that can come into that. But again, 14 years of age or older, they come, they spend some time with us, they learn how to be a staff member, they learn what it's all about, they go through some leadership development, they get an experience in each of our departments, and it's really a great time for them. It's a good time for us, and they really get the opportunity to see what it's like to be a CAP staff member, and then they're hopefully able to apply and want to come work for us in the upcoming year or years that follow that. And then I know that all of you have some amazing scouts in your program right now that are of the appropriate age, 15 or older, to be hired and to join our camp staff. So please, by all means, encourage them to apply. I know the application is on campmatatuck.org. I know the application's on gotowebster.org, and you can check those out. The Connecticut Rivers Council site will link to both of our sites, but getting some quality camp staff is really the backbone to our camps. We can have great properties and we can have incredible programs without the staff to put those on, make connections with your scouts, and encourage them to keep coming back year after year. A good friend of mine once told me that the most or the best asset that any of our camp properties have is the staff that we put together to interact with the scouts. And that really does lean on some of us as camp staff members, but also on you guys as adult leaders to recommend those kids and encourage them to come become staff. So we hope that you can encourage some of your older scouts and your youth leaders to apply to either be CITs or camp staff and join us for a great summer.
All right, thank you. For me, my oldest staff member is 80, and the youngest is some of the best 15-year-old junior leaders that our troops have to offer, and everything in between, including a bunch of teachers and college students as well. So there is no cookie cutter. We want you on the team if you want to be part of our summer programs.
Absolutely.
So we've gotten to the point where we can answer some of your questions, or we can go into the Q&A. I just want to say again, thank you for joining us. And this is the beginning of the conversation, just to give you the quick flyover of what the summer camp programs look like at the Connecticut Rivers Council this summer. Again, if you haven't given us a look in a long time, I encourage you to do so. Our camps are not the same camps that they were 25 years ago. As I pointed out before, Webster was featured in Scout Life. The climbing tower at Camp Matatuck was the cover of the climbing merit badge book. I mean, we have some stuff that's happening across the board that's really, really good. So we hope that you will continue to engage with us. Email Jeremy, email myself, and learn more about the programs that we have as well. So looking at the Q&A, let's see what we have going on here. So I don't know, Alex or somebody, if you want to throw out, we can answer some questions live if they.
Yeah, I can. Do you want me to read them out loud, Pat? So
sure, we can do this like The View.
Yep. Do you like that? Okay, so here we go. Is there a deposit required for each scout prior to May 5th to receive the early bird discount?
If so, we would like you to put deposit. So the long answer to your simple question is we do a lot of planning to get camp ready. We put out a tremendous amount of money to hire camp staff, to buy really expensive equipment, to apply for really expensive licenses. So when you make deposits, that helps us see where you're at based off what your estimate was when you saved a spot, reserved a campsite early on. But if you pay in full by May 5th, that's the $450 discount. So you can walk in that day and pay the full fee and get that even if you didn't put a deposit in. But a lot of families and units are just not in a financial position to be able to pay the entire camp fee. So that's why we ask for a deposit, so we can get serious about expending money to prepare for your scouts. So that's the long answer to your really short question.
We have a question that's probably a bit specific for each camp. Do any weeks fill up early that we need to be aware of? I know in the past, I have not had to close a week recently at Camp Matatuck. So I would say that at my point, I'm going to add tents and figure out how to feed you. If you want to come to camp that week, we're gonna make it work for you. So I don't have any weeks that I would say fill up, Pat.
Yep. So for us, we are really close to closing week 3 at Webster this year. We have a good number of people that have signed up and with their save a spot. And probably if one more unit signs up, we're going to have to close down week 3 because we want everybody to fit comfortably. Our lowest week right now is probably week 2, which is the 4th of July week. So if you're looking for a week to get in that has the most elbow room, if you will, I would steer you towards week 2, which is the 4th of July week. So we start on June 26th, and you open, Jeremy, on what date?
July 2nd, I think.
The 2nd.
3rd. Sunday the 3rd. Sorry.
Okay. All right, what's it?
The next question has to do with meals, Pat, and Pat and I both knew this question was coming. We prepped for it ahead of time, but it wants to know what we were going to do and if there's any COVID restrictions on meals, assuming that not everyone that attends camp will be vaccinated, is the question. So as Pat and I had talked about, like our plan right now is to hopefully provide a 2019 summer camp experience meals wise, not knowing exactly what restrictions are going to be put in place, not knowing exactly what the health departments and those things are going to put in place for us. That's what we're driving towards. with the knowledge that we were able to pivot for this year and could make those pivots based on what information is provided to us by the health departments. So right now we're planning for a regular summer. And then we have the ability, as we've learned this past year, to still put on a great program for everyone and a great experience at camp with whatever restrictions are told to us and regulations that we need to follow. Anything to add to that, Pat?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. We're gonna listen to our community partners, the state, our regulators, and we want to have as much normal as camp as we can. But we think that is going to be the case where everything is heading. But we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing that's safe for all our campers, because that's the #1 priority is safety. So I see 2 questions have popped up. Scoutmaster certification available at Webster. We are offering the full suite, if you will, of Scoutmaster specific and IOLS training this summer again for leaders that want to do that. I don't know if you want to talk about training at Matatuck.
Absolutely. We do that as well as a bunch of the other trainings that are offered either in person, or we provide Scoutmasters with the opportunity to, borrow a laptop and some Wi-Fi because they're there and have the time to participate in some of the online trainings. So, yep, same as you for the Scoutmaster specific.
Yep. How are sites reserved at Webster this summer? So we do ask that everybody saves a spot, which is putting just $50, which is transferable down to reserve a campsite. That gives us your contact info that you've officially staken a claim, if you will, for that week of camp. So when we're looking at your estimated numbers, and you can do that by going to go to webster.org, and right on the top is reserve a campsite. Jeremy, if you want to tell people how to save a spot for Matatuck.
Absolutely. Same situation. You can go to campmatatuck.org, and if you click on summer 2022, right on the top is the link to reserve a site. And I know they're also available on ctscouting.org under summer camping. You can go there to reserve a site at either of our camps. Pat, we have a question in the question and answer about leader discounts. Are there any, and what is the leader pricing for this year?
Yes, great question. So we want to make sure that every unit has proper leadership, that we follow our youth protection guidelines. So we have a graphic, and I don't actually have it to project, but we'll put it out with the support material afterwards, which starts off with basically that every unit gets 2 free leaders to come to camp. And then you get additional free leaders based off the number of scouts that you bring to camp, based off groupings of 10 when it comes to that. So you can start off the bat with 2 free leaders and additional ones from that. Then otherwise, we do charge additional leaders a very rudimentary amount for basically food. So you could pay for extra leaders by the meal if they're only in for a short period of time, by the day, or if a leader is coming to camp for the whole week with the unit, and they're in addition to the minimum needed for youth protection, it's going to be $150 to cover all of the meals there. But we will push out to you with our documents that lay out our entire more detail on the camp fee, what that is. But again, leaders can pay by the meal, by the day, or for the whole week. Hope that answers the question.
Ricky Ann has a question about the CIT program. Ricky, I know if you go to if you go to campmatatuck.org and go to the staffing tab, underneath there's also explains the CIT program. And I'm assuming on go to webster.org, there's also something that explains the CIT program. But yeah, both of those are pretty much laid out on the websites. So if you want to check those out, you can. There's also the fee and the time requirement on there. And then you can reach out to either Pat or myself if you have specific questions. Happy to answer them.
Yeah, the short of it is it's 14 and 15-year-olds. Think of it as a summer camp internship where you're not a member of the camp staff, but you're not a camper. So you're learning some leadership skills. You're working in different program areas as an intern with the Scouts. Frankly, we'll have some CITs that come the first week, and there's a $175 charge, and then they'll stay for the whole summer because they'll keep asking back and be part of it. And some of our best camp staff have come from having done a CIT program when they were 14 or 15 years old. So please give that a look.
Absolutely. One of the questions we also get asked a lot about the CIT program, and I don't know if this is the same at Webster. So Pat, please chime in if it's not. Our CITs do work with our departments for most of the day, but there is the ability for them to take some merit badges when they work with their department heads for the time to do that. So that they can be used also as an advancement opportunity for those kids in there.
Okay, let's see, the last question, we're gonna have the Ranger program this year. I'm not sure what the question's asking. We do have 2 dynamic Rangers that we like to program in camp. They do a good job maintaining, but we rope them in the program.
Agreed.
So we'll shoot us a note on the side and we'll happily get more details if that's what you're looking for there. So,
Absolutely.
all right,
And,
well, it is 8:02, so we've held you for about an hour. We appreciate your time. And again, this is the beginning of the conversation, nowhere near the end of it. But now that we're in 2022 and we're preparing for a nor'easter, it's really time to get scouts excited for camp. And for me, this will be my 24th season in camp, which time flies when you're having fun. And I'm really looking forward to both the staffing team and the scouts that come together, because when things are tough during COVID, but being in camp, you see the work that scouting does with kids in a way you don't see anywhere else. When a kid is able to overcome something they've never done before, they try something new, they work as a team, we need that more than ever. So I'm looking forward to that this summer. So Jeremy, I will give you the last word.
Absolutely. Well, the last word for today is being that Pat and I are the same age, I think it's really great that actually we'll let it be. Pat's birthday is today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So happy birthday, Mr. Boyd. He is 2 days older than me. Mine is on Sunday.
Thank
So, we're both spending a lot of times in our camp. I've been there the 21st seasons as well. It's a great experience. We're hoping that you come and enjoy it. Julia just posted in there to keep the coffee deliveries coming. That's a staple, Julia. It's not going anywhere. We'll make sure there's coffee delivered to the campsites for the adult leaders every morning. But I just want to echo what Pat said in the beginning. Whether you're going to come look at Camp Matatuck, whether you're going to come look at Camp Webster, whether you're going to go to Camp Brookhoman's programs, take advantage of the incredible programs that Connecticut Rivers Council has to offer you. We've put together a great camping team. We're putting out some great programs. We hope that all of your scouts find the time to enjoy them this summer, whether it's with your unit, as provisional scouts, as day campers. Make sure that your kids get out, enjoy our camps, and take advantage of the program we have to offer. It was great having everyone watch tonight, and hopefully we get all together again soon at one of our properties. So thanks very much. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you all.